All right, breaking right now, the president is about to leave for Saudi Arabia. You're looking at a live picture there of Air Force One, which he just boarded with his wife, Melania. And they're embarking on a pretty big trip, the first foreign trip. It's an opportunity to really reset the narrative here and talk about the importance of America first in the global scheme. Joining me right now with his thoughts on all of it, former Arkansas Governor and former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Good to have you here, Governor.
Thank you.
Is he gonna be able to really reset the tone right now?
I think he can. This is an amazing trip, and I heard Colonel Peters. It's a very ambitious trip. I mean, it would be a big trip if he were going to any one of the three capitals of one of the world's religions. To do them all in the same trip, plus combine it with NATO in a G7 meeting, I mean, it's kind of like the mother lode. It's like he's saying, I don't want to make a lot of these trips. I want to make one. I'm going to make it big. It's big. And what's interesting about it is that he's putting a framework on where the real challenges for the world are, because it's the conflict between Muslim and non-Muslim. It's the conflict between Israel and the neighbors that want to destroy it. And it's also a recognition that Christians are being persecuted around the world and murdered and slaughtered in record numbers. And I think he's going to be able to address that when he's able to visit with the Pope. So this is an extraordinary opportunity for him to sort of turn the lights on the global stage and say America is back as a leader, not a follower.
As we continue watching there, that live picture coming into us of Air Force One, we are waiting for the president to take off. Governor, I want to get your take on another big story of the day, and that's who is going to be running the FBI. Joe Lieberman is said to be the choice. What are your thoughts on him? Will he be able to do a good job? And what do you make of all the Democrats that are saying, no, 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 he doesn't have the right pedigree for this?
I think the Democrats are embarrassing themselves to say that Joe Lieberman would not be acceptable to them. I don't know if it's Joe Lieberman. I know that people are assuming that based on that Trump himself yesterday said, yeah, he's one of the top. But he didn't say he was the choice. So knowing the president, he's very likely to have someone different that nobody is really necessarily thinking of. But if it's Joe Lieberman, he's going to have, I believe, strong support from Republicans and most Democrats who, despite the pressure from their party to be against him, are going to have to look deep in their souls and say, seriously? You're going to ask me to vote against Joe Lieberman? I served with him. I consider him a man of integrity and honor, and now suddenly he's not? And I think it discredits Democrats. I think what they want is Donald Trump not to be president, and they don't care how they get it.
So it's just a matter of resistance.
It is resistance. It's not what they want, it's what they don't want. And that's what the Democrats have created for themselves, and I think it's a dilemma. I think it's a losing strategy, because ultimately they have nothing to offer America other than we're against Donald Trump. And here's the problem, Trish. The degree to which Donald Trump succeeds at creating a better business climate, putting people back to work, and they have jobs, their resistance is a resistance against the success that he's having.
Isn't that sad? That's a sad statement. Yeah. They should want this economy to do well, for America to do well right now. But in some ways, I think you're right. They don't want it because it means success for him. Let me ask you about your daughter, who, by the way, I thought has done a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
She's a straight shooter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and she is being talked about potentially to take over that podium there for the press conferences for Sean Spicer.
There's a lot of talk and rumors, and if Sarah knows about that, she's unaware of it. I'll put it that way. I don't think anybody has told her that there's going to be this big shakeup in the press operations. Those are leaks coming out of the White House, but they haven't been confirmed to her. She likes Sean. She thinks that he has not been fairly evaluated, and you know, her job is to...
She should still work with him, right?
Oh, absolutely.
She'd just be the front person out there. I think she does a very good job. I think there's less drama. I like Sean too.
I'm her dad.
Yeah.
I think she's
well,
great.
I have said this.
Terrific.
You must be so proud. I said that to the viewer the first day she was out there. I said, Governor Huckabee's got to be off.
I was actually watching you when you said that. I really appreciated that. I thought, thank you, Trish.
Oh.
Yes, old dad is pretty happy here.
You bet.
But whatever the president chooses to do there, I think it's going to be ultimately okay.
Okay. Governor, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.